If your company has been in the 6 or 7 figure range for more than 3 years, it might not be your fault. There's one reason beyond every other that holds companies back from hitting the 8-figure mark, and I could sum it up in about less than a minute. There's a company in my advisory program that's doing about $30 million a year in sales now. But when they got in, they were far less than that. I think they were doing something like the high 6 figures when I first met them. And I remember our conversation when I very first met them. I had just gotten off stage at a workshop, and one of the owners had come over to me and wanted to talk about getting into the advisory program. But at the time, they just didn't qualify. And for those of you who don't know how my program works, I work one-on-one with a small handful of companies to help them grow. And we have a stellar track record, but I won't work with the company if I think that the cost to work with me is going to burden them. And at the time, this company just wasn't making enough profit to afford to get in. But we did have dinner that night, and we went over one thing, and it was one of the main reasons most companies, including his, was struggling to break the 8-figure mark. And that dinner changed his path and probably his life. And less than a year later, he qualified and he got into Club 28, which is the name of my advisory program. And without a doubt, one of the main reasons why companies fail to grow from 6 or 7 figures to 8 figures is because they don't have systems in place to handle all the most important aspects of their growth. In my companies, we have over 100 systems that my team uses to keep us moving forward smoothly and predictably. And we have people who take ownership of those systems, so they're always being updated, and when we find a better way to help customers or to reach more people with our message or anything else in our business, they update them. For example, surveying our customers as an example. This is just one area that we have systems for, but it's a really good place to start here because most companies literally skip this step. But it's the one area that that particular company that I'm talking about used to go from 6 figures to 8 figures. Now, don't get me wrong, they were already great. I mean, super at a lot of things, like probably you are also. Every company has its core competencies that they're great at, but they weren't surveying their customers about their products. So I literally sketched out this very simple plan for them. It was on a napkin, sketched it all out, and this guy took it and he actually implemented it. And you'd be surprised how many people see a good thing and they don't take action on it, they don't implement it, and then they miss out on all the growth. Or they think this is too simple to work for me. Now, not long ago, I was invited to the corporate offices of Nestle in Vevey, Switzerland. And I sat around the boardroom table with their VPs, and I spent the greater part of that day talking about how they take every one of their products through a focus group every 6 years to determine if that product is going to remain on the shelves or if it needs to be improved or if it needs to be taken out of their product line entirely. Now, the amount of resources that they were telling me that they put into that is astronomical, yet they work on this every day. It's important to them. They survey their customers, they run focus groups, and because they're not scared to invest that time, that company, which was started by a man whose goal was just to make baby food to help nourish malnourished babies, that company now has over 200 brands, 29 of which generate more than $1 billion a year. So if you don't believe that surveying your customers and testing and tweaking your existing products is important, I respectfully say maybe you're losing ground on your competition, and definitely you're putting a nail in the coffin of being able to go from 6 or 7 figures to 8 figures and beyond. Now, that's one of the biggest reasons that companies fail to scale or hit plateaus in their scale, but there's a lot more. If you go to Build to Grow Review and you take the free Build to Grow Review, you're going to get deep insights into exactly what parts of your business need to be fixed, and also you'll find out how to fix them. Again, it's free and it's a powerful tool that high growth entrepreneurs just like you use every 6 months or so to keep an eye on their business so that they know what needs to be fixed before it starts to slow their growth. It's builttogrowreview.com. And also, before you go, subscribe and hit the bell notification so you're first to see more videos like this.
No matter what stage of growth you're at, we all need an unbiased review of what's working and also what might not be working anymore in our business. Because the greatest cause of stagnation in any company, the reason most companies hit plateaus in their growth, is because they fail to see the roadblocks that stop momentum in its tracks.